Hi math students, this is our introduction video for our lesson on multiplication and division word problems. In order to help us get ready for some of the stories we're going to be looking at today, I want to really quickly review what is multiplication and division. Our definition for multiplication is that it is repeated addition. So thinking about this picture below with the red circles, we learned that instead of adding 6 plus 6 plus 6, or instead of adding 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, you could instead just do 3 times 6, or 6 times 3, the same idea. And so in stories, it means if you're seeing something in a story where you would be adding the same number again and again and again, that would be a multiplication story. For example, Joseph wants to give his 3 classmates each 6 pieces of candy. How many pieces of candy does he need? Well, he needs 6 pieces for the first student, 6 pieces for the second, 6 pieces for the third. Instead of doing all of that, we could just say 3 times 6, and that he needs a total of 18 pieces of candy. Division is similar. They are related, multiplication and division. And so the picture is similar, it's just a different way of thinking about it. Division is this idea of equal sharing, or putting a number into equal parts. So for example here, instead of finding the total number of red circles, I have those total 18 circles that we are dividing into 3 equal groups, into 3 equal parts. And your answer for division is just how many circles are in each part, how many are in each group. So in a story, if you see words like dividing, obviously, but also words like sharing or splitting up, cutting up something into equal sizes, that means division. So for example, Edgar has 18 pieces of candy. He wants to share with his 3 classmates. How many pieces of candy should each classmate get? Here he's starting with that total of those 18 pieces of candy, and he's putting them into 3 groups. That helps me know that we're going to be doing 18 divided by 3, and then our answer is 6 because each group has 6. We also talked about if you know this multiplication fact, it really helps you with that division fact. The second part is looking at 3 different stories and identifying if the story is multiplication or division. That's going to help you with today's lesson. I'm going to ask you, go ahead, pause the video, and for each of these, see if you can identify, is it a multiplication problem or a division problem? Really just think about what math is happening. Don't worry about coming up with the answer. Come back to the video when you have these 3 answers. For the first story, it says Bailey buys 4 pizzas and each pizza costs $8. How much was the total cost? I'm picturing she's buying 4 pizzas and each one of those pizzas is $8. So we could do 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 to find the total, or use multiplication because there's that repeated addition. The answer for this would be she spends $32. For that second story, we have Olapeju works 20 hours this week and makes $480. How much money does she make per hour? So that's how much money does she make in 1 hour. Here I know the total money and the total number of hours she works, but I'm trying to divide up that money into 20 piles, basically, 20 groups, to see how much money is she making in 1 hour. This is describing division. We would be dividing that total money by how many hours she worked to help us find how much money she makes each hour. You would want to use your long division to figure this out. And like we said, the answers for these aren't the focus in this video, but if you did do the math, you would end up getting the answer 24. She makes $24 per hour. Finally, the last story says Erica divides up her students into 3 groups for a game. Each group has 6 students. How many students are in class? I think this one here is the most challenging because we see the word divide, but think about what the story is saying. She is putting her students into 3 groups. So here are my 3 groups, and each group has 6 students. So there's 6 students here, 6 students here, 6 students here. How many students are there in the class? I know it's using the word divide, but when you think about the story, or maybe draw a picture, if you can even call this a picture, looking at my 3 circles with 6 students each, it helps me see this is actually multiplication. We would be doing our 3 groups of 6, and there is a total of 18 students. For this last one, I have a lot of students, understandably, see the word divide and they want to divide. But an important thing to always do with your answers is see if it seems reasonable. Does it make sense? If I divide and say she has 2 students in class, that doesn't make sense for this story. If she only has 2 students, she can't put them in 3 groups for a game. So that helps me know that something's not right with my answer. Drawing pictures also always can help. I think once students see the 3 groups and 6 students in each, it helps us identify that we want to use multiplication. In today's lesson, we're going to be doing more problems like these, where it's going to be stories that describe multiplication or division. We're also going to be practicing doing this math here that we've learned in the past 2 lessons. You are ready for today's lesson? Thanks so much for watching.